Welcome everyone, it's Glacier Guy. I'm Rock the Glacier as always. We'll do a quick studio update, kind of get through this. I got a lot of work to do. Alright. Moving on over. So we finished the extra 1,000 points for the army. We're now up to 3,000 points for the Atlantean Spears. We added a Lord Mephiston looking lovely in his traditional red color scheme. We have a Primaris Tech Marine and went with the Codex compliant red, but added the blue shoulder pad to kind of like denote it, and a little bit of blue knee pad. And then we have 3 Leviathan Dreadnoughts. We have 2 close combat Dreadnoughts and 1 kind of DACA ranged Dreadnought. So let's kind of get into it a little bit. Let's click away on some of these pictures. Nice little closer look. Mephiston looking very, very angel-y vampire. I call him Space Dracula. Got that sweet Tech Marine. Be careful with the backpack arm. I had to pin it, recut it, but looking pretty nice. We got our 3 Leviathan Dreadnoughts. The middle one's magnetized for different gun options, but the 2 other ones on the right and left, those are glued in place. I went with that loadout just because it felt like the best of all comers for like anti-vehicle, but also still keeping quite a lot of like extra melee damage because you get extra attacks for the claw. And that's an overall picture. Looking pretty snazzy. Now I just need to have a little battle. All right, next moving on. 2 models that have just kind of been on the painting table. Kind of needed to get rid of. 2 Masters of Ordnance. I don't know. These are obviously kit bashes. These aren't the original Masters of Ordnance, but it felt right. And I went with the really large whip antenna on top of the Vox backpack because how else are you going to be able to reach back to the artillery unit like way out of the field? Like you need a lot of height on that aerial antenna. A lot of people joking about my antenna length, saying these guys are overcompensating. I'm like, yeah, they're overcompensating for poor atmospheric interference. They got to get good radio signals. I went with on the left we have more of a Talarn color scheme. I went with green for the equipment and the helmet. And then here, this is my Cadian. This is what I use for my Cadians. They have a little blue top. They have khaki pants. They have, and then this kind of a grayish, less blue, more of a charcoal gray. It does have a blue tint to it, but it is a cold gray for the equipment. And then green for the helmet armor. I haven't painted any tanks, but it'll probably, more than likely, it'll probably be green. Just straight green for the tanks with no camo color pattern. Because I don't actually have any vehicles that are... I don't have any tanks that are non-camoed. And I think my Cadians will probably just be straight green, which will be really quick to paint them. And I do have a lot of Chimeras that need to be painted, so we'll figure something out. Just a couple... I went with really... I spent a lot of time on the layering on these models, and it's funny because, like, you can't tell that it's like this when you look at it. And then in these pictures, you could definitely tell, like, there's a lot of, like, spots where there was, like, some speckling. And I think it's from this. I think it was, like, from the base coat. I think it's a bunch of wash that's speckled up when I was adding the wash to the base. So I think that's all what the speckling is. But, yeah, these guys look pretty snazzy. All right, moving on. This is, we are done with the current phase of painting. We are on to the case of assembly. We're on to moving on to getting things built. All right, this is my... this is my lovely pile. Let's kind of break it down. So we have upgrades for our World Eaters. We got a Khorne Lord of Skulls. We got 2 Decimators. They're coming with a Siege Claw and the Butcher Cannon. Mostly just because I kind of like the mix of like melee and then having the Butcher Cannon for some range. And then we obviously got the new World Eater Terminator that came in. I mean, obviously I'm going to throw my World Eaters army. And we have a Helldrake. I don't know if these are all going to be ready for the World Eater release, but... we're working on them. We got some Space Wolf upgrades. We got 2 of the character Dreadnoughts. So one of them is going to be Bjorn. One of them is going to be Murderfang. Then the other 3 are just going to be regular Redemptor Dreadnoughts with the Plasma, the Mini Onslaught Cannon, the Storm Bolters, and the Icarus Rocket Pod. I'm going to make it so I can pop the Plasma Cannon off and put the other big Onslaught gun on top. Excuse me. We got some Fenrisian Wolves. We got a Cyber Wolf, which is pretty nice. And we have a Primaris Tech Marine to kind of work it all together. So it's about a 1,000-point upgrade. We have, for our Steel Legion, we got ourselves a Stormblade. Yes, that's right. That's the giant Baneblade with the Plasma gun on top. So it's going to be looking nice. Over here, we have a Project. This is going to be a Kit Bash Baneblade chassis with 3 Basilisks mounted on top of it. I don't have a good name for it. I think right now it's called like the Triple or something along those lines, and it is it's a beefy artillery platform. It is just a custom gun. I might have sponsons. I'll probably have some sponsons on the side. I don't know if I'm going to have one set of sponsons or two sets of sponsons. I have extra bits. But yeah, it's just going to be a giant gunboat. I'm not sure how many points or what its weapons are going to be doing, but we'll figure that out after I build it. But I've seen it on the internet enough to be like, yeah, I want to do that. That sounds cool. We got some stuff for our Blood Ravens. We got Gabriel Angelos. Obviously, we had to get the chapter master of the Blood Ravens. We got to get that guy in here. And he comes in such a lovely little box, so it's going to be fun to put together. He's actually not that many pieces, so he should go together pretty quickly. And then we have a Space Marine Whirlwinds, mostly just because I didn't have a Whirlwind, and I had that like $16 voucher, so I was like, hell yeah, let's get the Whirlwind. This guy on the right, we're going to be using him as a Death Company Lieutenant, because I don't have a... my current army doesn't have any need for a lieutenant in it. His points wise, he doesn't really fit super well, but I do want to eventually make a Death Company detachment to go with it, and so this will be my first Death Company character to be in that future detachment. On the left, we have, obviously, he's a Dark Angel for the Loyalist and 30k, but we're going to be using him as a Chaos Space Marine Lord in Terminator armor, and I think he's going to be looking really nice. Take this Dark Angel and make him evil, even though I know canonically he was never evil, but we're going to make him evil. We have our Alpha Legion. This guy's looking pretty good. We got Alfarius down the bottom. We're going to make that Contemptor Dreadnought. That's going to be Rylanor. We're going to have an Emperor's Children color scheme, but because it is Alpha Legion, you can take at least one unit. Depending on what Rights of War you can take at least one unit as from an alternate army. So we're going to be taking that Contemptor Dreadnought, making it look like Rylanor. It'd be really nice. And then just a smattering of characters. We have 80 infantry, and so what we're going to be doing is 40 of those are going to be regular standard infantry. Probably 4 squads of 10, more than likely. And then, yeah, 4 squads of 10, probably. I don't think I want to do... I don't want to do any 2 squads of... I could do 2 squads of 20, but... I think I like the flexibility. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We could magnetize one of them to either be a sergeant or a regular dude, so we could do some sort of customization. But either way, we will have 40 left over that are 10 of them are going to be plasma gun guys, 10 of them are probably going to be Volkite, and then 10 of them are going to be autocannon, and 10 of them are going to be las cannon. And so that's going to be weird. So we're going to have all these extra special weapons kind of lying around. And then we have, obviously, we have a close combat Leviathan Dreadnought, and we have a Kratos battle tank. And so, obviously, we have 20 Cataphractii Terminators, we have 2 Spartans in the box, and then 2 other Contemptor Dreadnoughts. And so, I think that'll be pretty beefy. And not 100% sure about the loadout on the Contemptors, but probably a bunch of las cannons. And then, obviously, we have Abaddon the Despoiler. We're going to get him built up so he can help out the Chaos Space Marines and possibly the World Eaters if they let him go in the World Eater Codex. He might be allowed to go in the World Eater Codex as like an option, but we'll see. Unless we get like some crazy... Well, when we are possibly... Yeah, that's right. We are getting a Lake to Angeron, so we might not be able to take Abaddon in the World Eaters. But either way, he'll be in my Chaos Space Marines. And then I have this... I don't know if I'm going to put this together yet. I already have... a Vindicator Assassin, so I'm not really super jazzed about the Vindicator Assassin. It was just kind of I really, honestly, kind of should have got the Orc instead of the Vindicator Assassin for my free model. Yeah, just, but I might put him together. He might just go back on the shelf just because I'm not super wooed about him. Yeah, but that's it. Moving down, we're getting close to the end. This is, yeah, but before I can assemble it, I have to take, these are all the sprues that were used to build my Blood Angels or my Atlantean Spears, so I'm going to be breaking these down today, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Just kind of breaking everything down, get everything all squared away. And yeah, I have 2 other models that should be here in the next couple weeks, and those are pretty sweet models, but aside from that, this is pretty much it. Hope you guys had a great one. See you around, and yeah, goodbye.